What's up, YouTube? We're doing a deck profile here of Disaster Dragon. It's one of my favorite decks. It's not like meta, but it's somewhat anti-meta, and it's still pretty good. So, yeah, shout out to Christian Dragoon because he gave me some tips, and yeah, so let's get started. We start with the one Red MD, Red Ice Darkness Metal Dragon, because it's it's the backbone of the deck, and yeah. So I mean, like right now it's limited, but I really do think that it's not gonna affect the game much if it goes up to 2 or even 3, because Cliverts are running wild, and there aren't really there aren't really any new dragon types. I'm not talking about the worms that you can actually put into the deck right now. So that's why I think that the one Red MD is just not good, and like and it's not gonna hurt if it goes up to 2 or even 3. So yeah, but that's Konami's call, not mine. So next we have the 4 Dragon Rulers, because like I said, they're Dragon Rulers and they just keep the deck going. Like, they're some of the support. They open up rank 7s, they help with, they open up rank 7s, they help with the level 8 synchros, and yeah, all in all, they're pretty good. So, the 4 Dragon Rulers. 1 Lad, it's another important card to the deck because it just stops all these plays. Like, one time, I was playing with my friend in a tag duel, and then what happened is that I was playing a Shadal deck, and then he was playing, like, a Photon, and then he teched in a Lad. So then what happened is that I already built a board, and then he summoned his Lad, and then it was just, it just wrecked everything. So because I had a window on the field, they couldn't keep, they could only summon once, and then because he had a Lad, they couldn't do anything. It was so sad. So yeah, the Lad is really good. And then the Heart and Soul of the deck, Kokimeru Drago. It's not all that good right now because of Vanities. Vanities just outclasses it. But the card is, still, relevant in this deck because it's, like I said, the Heart and Soul of the deck. So, yeah, the 3 Dragos is pretty good. Stopping the special summons are pretty good. The first time I played against a Shadal deck back in the Duelist Alliance, I was playing Disaster Dragon at my locals, and then this Kokimeru Drago, it gave me the win. I started off with 2 Dragos in hand, and then I summoned it, and then they were pretty much just screwed. They couldn't make their Shadal fusions, and then they threw into a Squamata, which popped it, and then next turn I summoned another, and then it was just so sad. So yeah, the 3 Drago is definitely relevant in this deck. Then 3 Mass Dragon, they're pretty much just the life of they pretty much just take the brunt of the attack, so you don't take the damage. And they're one of the things that makes Soul Charge in this deck good, because you don't take damage because you don't usually take damage because these just are there to take the hit. So yeah, it's pretty good. Then 2 Delta Fire, because they open up a whole lot of plays. I opted to run 2 Delta Fires over a Debris and a Delta because there aren't many targets for a Debris in the deck, and Delta, you have more options. With a level 3, you could go into a 6 or 7. With a level 2, you can go into a 5 or 6. With a level 4, you can go into a 7 or 8, and yada 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 yada. So the 2 Delta, I like it. And then 1 Flammable Guard, the other tuner in the deck, is pretty good. You can banish a Blaster to summon another ruler, and then you add this Flammable Guard to hand, and then you pretty much have an instant 8. So yeah, it's pretty good. Then 1 Totem Dragon, because it lets you summon out your Lad really easy, and then yeah, and then it can get back from the grave. So it's pretty much, if you just summon the Totem Dragon first for defense, and then you drew into a Lad, you just summon the Totem Dragon back during your standby phase, tribute it off to go Lad, and then it's really good. So then next, 1 Exploder Dragon. It's Exploder Dragon, and your opponent probably doesn't want to attack into it. So yeah, Exploder Dragon is relevant in the deck. I'm not playing 2 because I just don't have the room. So yeah, Exploder Dragon, pretty good. Then 2 Blizzard Dragon. They're kind of the key to victory. Well, one of the keys to victory against Clyferts in this deck, because Clyferts specialize in OTKs, and if you can keep if your opponent already has like a shell on the board, you just need to stop that shell from attacking, and then like you might manage to buy yourself a turn. So yeah, that's pretty good. And then 2 techs of mine, they open up rank 8s. Our little Schwarzschild Limit Dragons. Like, your opponent's almost always gonna have monsters with over 2,000, so it's always live. And like, there's an insurance policy in the deck that lets you make rank 8s like whenever you draw into like a certain card that I'll go into later. So yeah, and then worst case, you can always summon those 2 and then use them tribute for lead. So yeah. And then that's all the monsters. Onto the spells, we have 3 Dragon Shrine. Dragon Shrine is pretty much just a replacement for the Ravine. I mean, it's just the same concept as when you did it in Mythic Rulers. You use them to send the Dragon Rulers to the grave, and then that just gets your place going. Then 3 MST, because we are in the era of the Clyferts, and you gotta be able to get over them. So to stop their play. So 3 MST is going to be relevant, and unless it gets hit, it has to stay like that. So yeah. 1 Gold Sarcophagus, because Gold Sarcophagus is banish a ruler, and that gives you a +1. Book of Moon, because Book of Moon. Dark Hole, like, I mean, I should run Raigeki, but unfortunately I don't have one, so Dark Hole is like the best thing I can do right now. And yeah, so Dark Hole, like, I mean, it still works like okay, and like against Clyferts, like, you probably don't have a board when you have it. So yeah, like it just like it might be able to like get you a turn if you can like use a Dark Hole and then use an MST on their scout or whatever. So yeah, that's pretty nice. And then 1 Burial from a Different Dimension. It just tosses stuff that you banish with your rulers or your red MD back into the grave, so you can re-banish it or do other plays with it. So yeah, it's definitely relevant and almost always live. So yeah. And then we have one of my favorite cards, Soul Charge, because with this deck you don't really take all too much damage because of the 3 Mass Dragons. And then the 3 you just go Mass Dragon, Mass Dragon, Mass Dragon, and then that Mass Dragon goes into like a totem. So yeah, and then so you can just like Soul Charge 5 monsters, just do whatever the hell you want, like with whatever the hell you want against whatever the hell your opponent has, and then that's just not even relevant. So the Soul Charge is just broken, and it deserved to go to 3, deserved to go to 1. Even though Soul Charge at 3, it was the core of the Mythic Rulers, which was once my favorite deck. And then we have 1 Rank Up Magic Variance Force. Like I said, rank 8s are pretty easy with this deck, and then that's just one of the ways you get over the what's-his-faces. One of the ways you get over our friends, the Clyferts. So yeah. Variance Force is live whenever most of the time, so yeah, I like it. And I mean, if you have like a Dante, and if you're playing Burning Abyss or Satellars, then it's even better because you just like take your opponent's Xyz material. So yeah, that's all the spells. Then onto the traps. Let's just start with the staples. Solemn Warning, it's Solemn Warning. Why not? Compulse, it's Compulse. Bottomless. It's not really used all too much, but right now, Clyferts are just wrecking the meta, so you pretty much need to use it. And then Torrential, almost the same reason as Bottomless, but I just like the Torrential in this deck, so yeah. And then 2 Phoenix Wingwind Blast, because they're Phoenix Wingwind Blasts, and if you discard a ruler with it, you're not losing anything at all, so yeah. And then last we have 2 Dragon Carnation, because this is the insurance policy I was telling you about before with the Schwarzschild Limit Dragons. If your Schwarzschilds get into the grave, no sweat. Just banish them to summon your ruler, then use this to add it back to your hand, and then, yeah, it's pretty good. So, that's my deck, 41 cards, and then, I mean, it's pretty good, I guess. So, yeah. Now, onto the extra deck, we have Star Eater. You can make it using your Delta Flyer and a ruler, or Delta Flyer and Swords Shield. So, yeah, Star Eater, it's another way the deck can get over a towers, because one, it's a level 11. Two, like if I think correctly, well, if I have it correctly, then it's not affected by any card effects when it goes into battle. So like the attack point loss should go back to normal, like when it attacks. So yeah. Then we have the level 8s. We have a Scrap Dragon. It's Scrap Dragon, just pop what you want and then pop what your opponent has. So yeah. Then Hot Red, Clyfurt's just Clyfurt hate. And then a Stardust Spark, because I mean it stays on the field more than a normal Stardust, so I prefer the Stardust Spark. So yeah, it's pretty good. Then those are the level 8s. And then for the 7 we have one Black Rose. It's Black Rose, so yeah, why not? And then for the 6s, we have a Iron Chain. I almost never make it, so it's just there, like, for the option. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, so, yeah. For the rank 3, that's all the synchros. For the rank 3s, we have a Leviair. I mean, there are a whole lot of 3s in the deck, so Leviair is almost, like, and then you banish a whole lot using the ruler, so Leviair is usually live. Leviathan, just to get over stuff, and yes, Leviathan, so yeah. Then, for the rank 4s, we have a Queen Dragoon Jin. All the monsters in the deck are dragons, so yeah. Castell, because Castell's broken, and yeah, all that other stuff. And then last, we have one Exiton Knight. It just nukes the field, clears the board, it's just like, oh, it's pretty good, like, it's just like a Black Rose, so yeah. So if you're in a bad situation, it can reset the board, because I mean, destroying isn't the best right now, so it at least resets it. So, yeah. And then for the rank 7s, we have a Big Eye and a Draco Sack. Because, well, they're Big Eye and Draco Sack. So, yeah. I really wouldn't run more because, I mean, like, to bring these out normally, you'd have to banish 4 dragons from your grave. And, I mean, and if you'd have to do that, like, more times, then you'd have to banish, like, 8 dragons. Like, at least, just to do, like, 2 Dracos. So, yeah, that's not something I want to do. And then last, for the rank 8, we have a number 107, Galaxy Eyes Tachyon. Like I said, you make it using the Swords Shields, or a Lad, or, well, yeah. And then, or, like, a Synchro. So, yeah, it's pretty good. And then, like, I do believe it negates card effects. Let me see for a sec. No, it's only monsters, but it's still pretty good, though. And then, like, the 3000 attack isn't bad at all. And the fact that it just negates the stuff, it's just, like, negating, it's just broken. So, yeah, and then the attack is pretty good. So then, last, one of my favorite card in the deck, probably, number C107, Neo Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon. An absolutely broken card. You rank it up on top of the original Tachyon, and then after that, just all hell breaks loose. I'm not even joking. So, effect number 1, you just detach and then just negate the effects of all cards on the field, and then your opponent can't activate anything. So it's pretty much just broken. Like, that's the only word for it. And then 2, if you have the original Tachyon attached, you detach a material. I mean, no, you don't detach the material. You contribute 2 monsters, and then it can attack 3 times. So it's just a really good out to Clyfurt. So, yeah. Like, the card actually won me, like, a game against Clyfurts before, and, yeah. I mean, like, Clyfurts just wreck everything, but 4,500 is really big, and towers can't stand up to that. So, yeah. And skill drain doesn't help, because, I mean, if it has that high attack, so, yeah. So, that was my Disaster Dragon deck profile. Hope you liked it. Rate, comment, subscribe, and, yeah, just stay tuned for more videos, deck profiles, gameplay, maybe some unboxings or openings. So yeah, hope you liked it, and see you next time.